This is Ibrahim. I'm Marcos. And this is our review of the RSV4 versus...
the Panigale V4S.
I hate it. He loves it. You hate it. You love it. You love them both. You hate one, you love the other. But what are you going to do? Well, we're here to tell you.
We're here to tell you, exactly. All right, so Marcos, you had a chance to, you were very opinionated right before we did this, and you had just a little bit of exposure, like a quick around the block 10-mile exposure to the bike.
Yeah, I had written
and you read all the reviews, you memorized all the reviews, and you responded all the comments about it on the internet. So, for the first time, you had a really chance to push it to the limit.
Push it hard.
Okay, push it really to the limit. So what do you think?
Okay, start with the RSV4.
Yes.
What a machine. You know, that machine has got such power and pace and confidence, and you know, the ergonomics put you, you feel like you're a little bit forward on the bike, but not so bad. And what I really love is the power delivery. It's super linear.
Yes.
Like, you know exactly where the power is going to come in every time.
That's exactly the reason why I bought that bike.
Right.
Yes.
It's stable.
Very stable.
Very predictable.
Very stable. Yeah.
Right. You know, so there are many things about and for full disclosure, I own a Tuono.
Yes.
It's a 2017
yes.
Tuono with an open tablet, open flash tablet.
Yes.
ECU flash on it. But so okay, there's that. There's the RSV4. Wow, what a great, incredible bike. And then you get on the Ducati, and instantly, you know, well, it's Italian, right? I mean, it's typical. It's but no, I meant like typical Ducati Italian. Like, you know, it didn't start. Wait for it to catch. Don't turn the gas. Leave it. Is there a choke? No, there's nothing, right? What the hell is that? Okay, stop for a sec. Check the modes. It's just warming up. Why? It never did it before. Yeah, sure. Evil eye. Okay, watch the Aprilia. Ready? No drama. It wouldn't start, right?
In the morning, yes.
And, like, what the hell is that? It's a brand new bike with under 1,000 miles on it.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't ride it for one day, and it's kind of like the battery is low. I don't know.
No, I think she was moody.
Yes, maybe. Maybe she was moody. She wants attention every day, all the time.
Typical.
If you're not paying attention, she's gonna turn her back to you.
Right. And okay. So first impressions are: wow, super light, incredible power delivery, absolutely phenomenal punch. I think it is basically a Tuono and an RSV4 smashed together. Because it's 1,100 cc's.
Yes.
That's 1,000 cc, 100 cc's over normal 1,000 bikes, which are 1,000 for a reason because of homologation needs. Because people want to race these bikes. Yeah. And if you want to race them, they have to fit a certain spec.
Yeah, leader.
Right? They have to be a leader. So, but Ducati's been like, so what? We're going to put 1,100 in here. So the electronics, they're incredible. They're invisible pretty much, right? Okay, so it's tiny, light, it feels nimble, it has incredible power delivery. One thing that was different than RSV4 though was it feels like a twin a little bit. It vibrates. Yeah, like at a light, at a stoplight, the mirrors shake. You know what I mean? Like an old school
It also
twin.
sounds like that, and I read about it because they made it in such a way that the front twin fires like together after the back twin. So it actually, even though it's 4 cylinders, it feels like a.
It fires 2 pistons together. It's called a Big Bang motor. Firing motor. Yeah. But so yeah, and it's a reverse rotation. Okay, the counter turning or counter rotating. I mean, everyone's probably heard the specs by now, but just for those who haven't, a counter rotating motor counteracts the gyroscopic force of your wheels. So every motorcycle you probably see on the road today has a crank that turns in the same direction as the wheels.
Yes.
that creates a gyroscopic effect in the motor. Plus the wheels are spinning, so there's a gyroscopic effect. But in MotoGP, what they do is they spin the motor in the reverse direction to counteract the wheels spinning in the forward direction, and it basically negates the two forces.
Yeah.
And it makes the bike moment of inertia less and easier to turn.
Yes.
Right? And so that is why the bike feels on movement so light and nimble.
It is.
You just go like that and the bike is dipped over. And I didn't even really have to get out of the seat that much. I mean, I got out of the seat like to hang off because I wanted to.
Yes.
I wanted to see, okay, what's it feel like out here? What's it feel like?
Yeah.
But I didn't have to.
Yes.
Cheater! Cheater!
Moving,
It's a fucking cheater.
Moving on the seat feels much easier to me compared to RSV4.
I think it's lower. I think just the
I
geometry
think exactly.
is a little bit...
It's lower because the RSV4 seat comes up like that,
Yeah,
so you have to keep your ass up
Yeah.
and then move to
Again, but this is a race bike thing. Want to know why they do that?
Yeah.
They want to load up the front wheel with as much weight as they can, so they kick your ass up.
Definitely. I get it. But again, on the street, if you're going like downhill or something, like the Panigale is going to be easier on your wrists than the RSV4.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
And that like quick turn,
Right.
it's almost like when I'm turning, I'm in like slow mo because it's that smooth. Like,
But that brings us to the suspension.
yeah, probably suspension as well. But it's kind of like you pick a line and you can just kind of watch the flowers all that stuff because like it's just so smooth. Yeah.
Is because I think counter-rotating crank eliminates the moment of inertia. 2, it's smaller. You feel more dynamic. I think the seating position is really ergonomically right. Is there,
Yeah.
and I think 2 is the high-profile rear tire. So it's using a 60 profile instead of a 55, which is a brand new tire.
Yes.
Again, cheater bike. You can't get this tire by anybody. It's only exclusive for Ducati for a year.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So so what happens when you have a taller tire, the bike. It's easier to dip in, right? And has a larger contact patch as it goes over.
Okay.
So the question is like, okay, I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a combination of many things all coming together that all of a sudden this bike just dips in and just so effortlessly, and you just go like this with it, and you're like, God, that's cheater.
Yeah.
But what I really want to talk about is the suspension, because I think the suspension is both a bit of a triumph, but also in a very modern way, a little numb. I know that's going to sound weird.
Why is that?
Okay, so we just did the road back to back, right?
Yes.
We did Piscadero Road.
Yes, the bump, like there were
the bumps and everything, right?
Yes.
The RSV4 factory feels like a GT3 Porsche in the sense of you feel everything that's happening in the steering wheel, right?
Yes.
The steering is perfect.
Yeah.
But if you get in some of these other electric steering cars, it's a little vague, right? Because the electric steering is kind of not dialed in perfectly. And I feel the V4S, while completely competent, can completely take care of any situation. It's all things to all riders at all times.
Yes.
It's smooth and stable when you want it to be. It absorbs every mid-corner bump you could ever imagine, but at the same time, it gives you all the confidence and feedback you need.
Yeah.
But the feedback from the RSV4 felt more precise.
Raw.
I felt every every pebble on the ground on the RSV4. I did not necessarily feel every pebble on the ground in the V4S. I felt it masked some of it, right? Because it was absorbing everything.
Yes.
Right? It didn't slow me down.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think it might have made me faster.
Yeah.
But it's a different experience, right?
I see.
I think maybe I felt faster because I wasn't getting as much feedback from the road, so I could be like,
oh, you could just,
hey, let's go.
Sure,
Why not, right? Whereas the RSV4 is communicating. It's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, here's a bubble. Here's a pebble. Here's a bump. Here's a thing. And so you're like, whoa, okay, yeah, I love it. The motor is much more powerful. You can feel it. It's more immediate. It's more there. It's a little bit more of a box, a little bit more of a hooligan, it feels like. Whereas the RSV4 feels like a linear, very dialed in, very sophisticated, trackable, thing.
I feel like if I want to have one bike and only one bike for everything, all locations, I could get the V4.
You feel like the
Panigale V4 could be my
but now we're talking about $10,000 difference between the two bikes.
Yes, but if you have the money, it's worth it. That's what I
Okay,
think.
but is it a $10,000 better experience? I know I cannot say it was a $10,000 better experience. They are a different experience.
It's a different experience, but the way I see it is like the way I would justify that is if money is not an issue. The second thing is I don't have to have two bikes. So I have an XDL. If I had the Panigale V4S,
You think you could have done our 400-mile ride yesterday with?
on the Panigale, I could have.
You mean the V4S, not the old Panigale?
No. Forget the new Panigale is everything the old Panigale isn't.
Should have been.
It should have been.
It should have been.
It should have been.
Would have been doing for 5 years.
I don't know. So that's a different story. But it's here.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is like, if you're like me, if you sold your Panigale because it's the old Panigale.
Yeah. And you bought an RSV4.
This is the machine that I fell in love with in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, well, it certainly has that more evocative shape. I think it's more of a. It's definitely a looker. It's got good looks.
It's got good looks. It's lower, like you said. Like if you're on the street, canyons, hills and stuff. Like I'm 6'1", and still like in certain parts I'm tiptoeing on the RSV4, on the seat. Like on the canyons, like if you're in a hill or something, like.
Oh, you mean when you have to come to a stop or make a turn?
Yeah,
It's an unusual
exactly.
parking lot.
That's what I'm saying. Whereas the Panigale, I'm like flat on the ground. It's kind of lower. I love that.
Yeah, it's made for. Yeah, I think there's a point to that. But I think the
That's what I'm
difference
saying.
is,
Like
well,
it's
yeah.
also great for the street, not just for the track.
So, but here's the difference. When you say those things,
Yes.
you have to remember the RSV4 was a motorcycle that is matured over 10 years.
Yeah.
Under the conditions of a racetrack.
Yes.
For the purposes of winning
It's
world
great.
championships.
I love it. That's
So
my,
I'm
it's
just
my
saying,
track bike.
when you get on that bike and you say, oh, the seat's canted a little forward. Oh, the ergonomics aren't quite there. Oh, I feel like I can't quite touch. Those are elements that were designed out of function.
You have a very good point. So that's actually the one thing I forgot to tell. When I'm hanging off the bike, the RSV4 is like made for it. It's like made for it. It's just like glow
The tank, right?
It
That
fits
tank,
right
right?
there. It's just easy.
The tank has a wing there that grabs the knee.
Yeah. So again, it's a great track bike, but I wouldn't have RSV4 as my one and only bike for all occasions.
No, of course not. Which is why
Tuono could be.
Tuono.
Yeah, Tuono could be, but yeah.
I personally, I'm in love with the Tuono. I think if they gave me that bike and is super naked with upright bars and what else would I need?
But do you
upright
need
bars.
it?
That's all
do
I
you
need.
needed upright bars? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I
it felt comfortable. That's what I'm saying.
I prefer it.
Okay.
Well, there's leverage there
Yeah.
as well, right? I mean, listen, I did a 425-mile day. Went up to Fort Bragg yesterday.
Yes.
Came along.
Northern California. Yeah.
And Northern California from Point Reyes Station to Fort Bragg, and then back down to the Bay Area. So it turned out to be a 400-mile day. On the Tuono, there's no problem. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to do it again today.
Yeah.
But you could, in theory, do a
Yeah.
1,000-mile trip day after day.
Yes.
I don't know if you could say that about a Panigale.
Probably not.
Probably
That'll be
not.
stretching. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so in conclusion, I mean, you have to talk about the fact that it is a bit of a cheater. It's a 1100 cc,
Yes.
which is how they get the extra torque, which is why it feels like it's so punchy,
Yeah.
right? It feels punchier than the RSV4.
I don't care how it does it. I look at the end result.
Which is really what
Yeah.
the market gets.
Yeah. I look at the end result.
And you go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you have the money.
But
then-
listen, we just kicked ass up and down this road.
Yes.
Back and forth. And I cannot tell you, getting off one bike and getting into another, oh, this is a $10,000 better experience.
See, the moment we get into money, it's more subjective. I fully agree.
Okay.
What I'm saying is like, yeah, for some people, like even 5K is going to be like too much. 2K is going to be too much difference, right? So, yeah, there's that difference.
I mean, because you could buy an
That's what I'm saying,
RSV4.
like,
You could buy an RSV4, put carbon wheels on it, and maybe it might turn as fast as the maybe.
But still, again, like a lot. Yeah. So that's the thing. Sure, it is expensive. It's different. It's a different experience.
It is. But okay, let's come at it from this perspective. If I had the money to buy whatever I wanted,
Yeah.
and I didn't have that already,
If money wasn't an issue, yes. Let me ask you, if money wasn't an issue, which one would you buy? If money wasn't an issue,
I'd buy.
they're all free.
They're all free.
Yeah, they're all free.
Wow. I really like the RSV4. I really like the RSV4. So I will finish with this.
Yes.
Or at least from, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, done, but
Yeah.
I would say, it's a breakthrough for Ducati. The bike is stable. It's got great fueling, mid-corner throttle maintenance. It's no problem. It's comfortable to ride. It's fast as lightning. It is faster than RSV4. No doubt about it. It's frighteningly fast. It is everything the Panigale should have been from day one.
Yes.
And it feels like they wrote an RSV4, analyzed the hell out of it, and then built a better bike. Right?
Or they just transferred MotoGP learnings to a street bike now.
Though the MotoGP bikes have always had this problem where they were really hard to ride. Like that's why Lorenzo can't ride it.
No,
right?
I know. But what I'm saying is like the technology, some of the technology, like the body and stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that a lot of that motor is straight out of MotoGP.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Big Bang fire order,
Yeah.
reverse rotating crank.
Yeah.
I mean, these are that's hardcore stuff. I mean, put it this way: for your extra $10,000, you are getting you're getting a better bike than a Desmo Sedici. Do you know that Desmo Sedici is the MotoGP bike from 2016, 17? No, 2013, I think.
Okay.
No, it wasn't 2007.
Yeah.
The one Casey Stoner, right before Casey Stoner won the world champion, they took the MotoGP bike.
Yeah.
They put on headlights, a kickstand, and a starter.
Yeah.
And they sold it for $80,000. It's called the Desmo Sedici.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a 200 horsepower bike, no electronics.
Yes.
None.
Analog.
I rode that bike. That bike's a hairy beast, right?
Yeah.
And you had to ride that bike at 10 temps to get anything out of it,
Yeah.
right? This feels like they took everything that you'd want from that experience and then stuffed it into an everyday street bike. It's incredible.
Hello,
How are you?
this is our second part of the review.
You had a chance to ride this for, I don't know, the last maybe 50, 60 miles.
Yes.
What was your opinion?
You mean the RSV4?
Yeah, the RSV4. I mean, switching back.
Switching back, I honestly feel it's a really tough comparison when it comes to power. Like everything else, they're actually like really close.
Well, we did drag race the bikes, and the Panigale is faster in a straight line.
Clearly.
And it's
like,
not even like maybe.
Yeah,
it's like every
clearly.
gear, every speed,
Except for-
every scenario. Maybe.
Yeah,
it's like every
clearly.
gear, every speed,
Except for-
every scenario.
Except for the first gear range is less.
Yes,
So it actually pulls apart, but then the
but that's only
RSV4
because you ran out of gear.
Exactly.
Right,
I ran
right.
out of gear. Exactly. That's why.
The RSV in
Yeah.
first, yes, I agree. The RSV4 does pull harder, pulls farther. I would say is the
Yeah,
best
it has
way
a
to-
bigger range on the first gear, basically.
Right.
So it's a really tough comparison. Like,
Did you see what I was talking about earlier, where the suspension felt more raw, and not in a
Yeah,
bad
no,
way,
I
but in
know
that
that,
more
which-
communication way?
which I prefer that on the Panigale, which is I don't need to be communicated every detail
of the road surface.
of
that
the
is.
road surface.
So yeah, I felt like the RSV4 was able to deliver a more information about what the front tire was doing, whereas I felt the Panigale was no problem in confidence.
Yeah.
Absolutely, all the confidence is there, but I feel it's a little vague in the sense of you don't feel every nook and cranny of the road.
Yes.
It's the electronic suspension there is brilliant at hiding that from you.
Yeah.
Again, though, not at the sacrifice of speed. I had ultimate confidence and had no problems entering at corner speeds that, I could have done. I have done on the RSV4 and the Tuono, but it was just all there. And that's the other thing is just how competent it is, right? The chassis feels RSV4 like, or at least that style of sure-footed, controlled, compliant. Just
I forgot to tell you, after our last review, that section that connects to one,
Yeah.
After the bridge.
Where you jumped?
Yes. Like there was a
Tell them about the jump.
There was a bump. And then Marcos was like, okay, put on second gear, give all you can. And I did. And there's this bump, which I wasn't sure what he was trying to get it done, but I didn't know the bump.
Yeah.
By the time I realized it was too late. And I picked up air, both wheels. And the bike landed as if nothing happened. Just straight. It's not like
almost like that Moto GP3.
Like,
remember that Moto 3 guy who jumped the other rider?
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like that was again the bike is like so stable. Everybody calls it like cheater bike. It is, which is you don't have to be the perfect rider to ride like perfect.
Okay.
It was hell of an experience, and the bike handled it like perfectly.
And that's where the confidence comes from, right?
It's crazy. Exactly.
And then you put
it's
it in.
Dangerous. It gives you. It makes you feel like I can do anything, and I'll get away with it.
Yeah. Right. Well, also there's this other thing, right, where it's the electronics, right? So the electronics on the RSV4 has a wheelie control. Not that you need it; you turn it off, and it's just the perfect wheeling machine ever. But the Panigale has this 8-level
of wheelie
control. So if you put it in one, you can basically abuse which is the lowest setting. You can abuse the throttle, and the bike will just stand up at 45 degrees and stay there. And it's just pretty hilarious as long as you want to hold it.
It gives me the confidence to try and learn wheelies on this bike.
Right.
I've never done wheelies before.
Right.
So I put it on first. And I was able to like do it because of that confidence that no matter how much I put, it's not gonna loop over.
Yeah. Well, the level 1 wheelie control on the RSV4 won't loop you over either. But at the same time, you've got to yank it a little bit to get it to really stand up. It'll just give you 1 foot and stay there.
I see.
But I mean, this is a training tool.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Once you know how to do wheelies, you're going to turn it off because you want that.
Yeah.
I'm doing the wheelie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing a wheelie on this on one, and I was pinned it open, and I was like, "Oh, come on, that's cheating!" Because I'm sitting there at 45 degrees, and the bike is just railing. And not only that, but the bike has the electronics dips the wheel a tiny bit, and it does this kind of head hunt, and it looks like you're modulating the throttle, but you're not. Right. Yeah. So that's really cool. So it has more power than RSV4. There's no doubt about it. Definitely. Every gear, every speed. If you go side by side,
is delivered. That more power is delivered still like very smoothly.
Yeah.
Until 9,000.
10,000.
Until 10,000.
So
there's a separate
So basically, I call this motor Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because below, I say 10, he says 9, but around 9,500 RPM, it's perfectly pussycat. You can ride it.
Yeah.
It's very trackable. It's very predictable. It's like a regular super bike, right?
Yes,
Just a regular super bike. Yeah. And then above 10,000 RPM, it's Mr. Hyde. It's the Terminator. It's the I'll be back. It's like the floor drops out and just you launch.
It's the hyper jump.
It's like you're in the Millennium Falcon and you put, and it's like, it's really something, and it's exhilarating. It's totally exhilarating. One thing I am not happy about, though, this bike does not get hot to the user.
Yes,
I don't feel any heat coming off this bike. This bike is basically, as all Panigales have always been, a nut roaster.
Although, like this time they have this thing, because I don't think my old Panigale.
Yeah, it had that. It just not as elaborate.
Yeah,
it had some sort of heat shield.
I mean, of course, it must have some heat shield, but this is like almost put the whole thing in a heat shield. Still, I can definitely feel it. It doesn't bother me personally, but neither my old Panigale bothered me either. Like, it was hot, but it was, I know it's hot, and that was fine.
Right.
Not sure. Maybe I like it hot.
Right.
Maybe some like it hot.
The brakes, I think. I don't know. The brakes feel equally as powerful to me.
Yes.
I don't feel. At least on the road, you can't get anywhere near the brakes.
I'll be honest. I don't see any difference between the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any difference.
Both of them are like parachute, like you just apply and then boom, done.
I feel this bike is. I feel more connected with the road. I feel more engaged in a way, but I feel like a hero on this bike. And the electronics are invisible, but it just lets you go and go and go, and it's look at this turn that I should probably touch the brake for, but I'm not going to. And I didn't need to. Look at that. You know what I mean? Yes. And you could just dive in and go. And look, dude, we haven't even gotten... I mean, there's at least an inch on the chicken strips here. And I was hauling ass on this bike, and it, like I haven't even gotten over on the tire. Well, that's probably because it's a 60, right? It's a
Yeah.
taller tire, so it has you farther to go to get over. So the electronics, I think I like the dash more on this one. The electronics here seem to be a slight step forward, right? Both bikes, the electronics are invisible to me. Like, I don't feel the traction control kicking in. You don't feel the ABS or any of the...
No, we didn't need it. I didn't need it, yeah.
Right, and so you don't feel any of the electronics per se. I think the wheelie control on this is a bit more intrusive. The wheelie control on this is a bit smoother. But again, once you learn how to do wheelies,
I think
people turn that stuff
the
off.
whole counter crank is actually helping a lot with keeping the wheel down.
Yeah.
That's the other reason that it's probably like smoother.
I think the counter rotating crank is a bit of a stroke of genius, right?
Yeah,
Because the bike
it
is
helps
well,
with a lot of
maybe
things.
maybe that thing where I was saying like, oh, look at this turn, I should probably slow down for it, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to, and
Yeah.
whoa, I
Yeah.
just dipped in, it's no problem.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with the counter rotating
I
crank.
agree.
That and the it just makes the moment of inertia so much less.
Yeah,
And just
it's pretty
drive in.
unique, and it makes a lot of difference, huge difference.
It does make it. It is a new. I will give it this. It's a unique machine.
Yeah,
It is in a class by itself
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Obviously,
There's
Aprilia is
nothing-
going to answer. Others
Yeah.
are going to come back and have an
my
answer. But
guess
for
is
now,
next year
it's-
everybody's gonna copy a lot of the stuff, but right now it's actually unique.
right, the 60-inch tire, the counter-rotating crank, the the Gen 2 electronic suspension, right? As far as the traction control, ABS, cornering ABS, and slip control and all that, I think it's pretty much the same stuff all the way through as all the other bikes have available. It's
Yeah.
it's a Bosch unit.
It's a Bosch
right?
electronics.
A Bosch electronics. I just think they retweaked the interface. Now that's another thing they did that's really nice is the interface on this is really smooth. The interface on this is great too, but the interface here, it's sort of like human design, like. The suspension, what do you want? Do you want more? You want more grip, or you want more braking? Do you want more? A better cornering speed.
You mean the settings?
The suspension settings,
Okay.
right? And so if you go in there, you can see a little bit about like they didn't think of like, oh, I want more rebound, I want more preload.
Yeah.
They thought about it. Well, what does the
Yeah.
user want? The user
Exactly.
wants more confidence in braking.
Yeah.
So let's tell them
Yeah.
let's say that, and then
Yeah.
we'll make the adjustments.
Yeah, of course.
And that's new though,
Yeah.
because up until this point, it's always been
Oh.
you had to know
Yeah,
suspension
what you want.
geometry,
Yeah.
like suspension technology to dial it in. It's very approachable, right? Very comfortable. I was riding, and I took my hands off the wheel. Like I was just kind of going down
Jameson Creek?
Yeah, it was Jameson Creek. I was just the bottom half where it's a little bit
Yeah.
less,
Yeah.
it's dicey. And I was just kind of
Yeah.
like, doing my thing where I was just kind of like floating along. And then I realized, this is a brand new bike to me. I don't even know this machine. That's not something I normally just do
Yeah.
on a bike
Yeah.
without actually
Yeah.
having some time to get like comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And that just speaks to how comfortable and how quickly comfortable I became on this bike. Is like I didn't even realize, oh my God, I'm just cruising around with no hands. But that's also, I think, probably going to wind up hurting a lot of people, I think, because if you don't know what you're doing, you go to the dealer, money's not an issue.
Yeah.
You're walking out the door with this, because
Yes.
this is the sex machine, right?
Yes.
This thing is going to kill you, dude. This is a lot of bike. It's the
definitely a lot of
fastest
bike.
accelerating
It's definitely a lot
bike
of
I've ever
but
ridden.
That's the thing, though. Like, it also makes you safer. I mean, unless, like, if you are not self-aware and you get into this, like,
Yeah, I'm talking about somebody who shouldn't be having this
they
bike.
don't realize they are riding beyond their limits because the bike kind of masks a lot of things.
It
like
does mask,
flaws and-
but I
yeah.
want to say that it does mask.
Yeah, it does
Like
mask
the roads,
user flow.
yeah, and
flaws
you don't
and-
know how fast you're going. Even I felt like very deceived by the speed. Like all of a sudden, I was like, "Holy snap! I'm doing
Yeah.
triple digits here! Whoa! Grab a handful."
But I think as long as you're on this bike, you are safe. Like you would, like the problem could be you could develop certain flaws which may not be highlighted on this bike. But the moment you get to another bike, you could then potentially kill yourself.
Because you had all this confidence here.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And-
come here.
Yeah, or not here, but some other bike. Because
Yeah.
the electronics
Yeah,
is
yeah.
really good here in this one too.
Right.
But some other bike which doesn't have the same sophisticated electronics, then you could really like hurt yourself.
Yeah, because the safety net's not there, and you
Exactly.
didn't, and because the safety net's always on.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You didn't.
get used
You don't
to
know
it.
where the floor is.
Exactly.
You don't know where the boundary is because
Yeah.
it's just, I can
Yeah.
do anything, and this
Yeah.
bike makes me look like a hero.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wheelie control makes you look like a hero. That counter rotating crank makes it so
Yeah.
easy to throw in. The ergonomics, not so bad. My
it's not-
knees
that's what I'm
weren't
saying,
bothering
like-
me. I
Yeah.
mean, I was fine. I just
Yeah.
rode 100 miles.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
Yeah, and it was like pretty steep sections. Wrist is fine.
Oh,
It's
well,
not
we should probably talk
numb
about
or
the roads.
anything.
We're talking about Northern California, right?
Yeah, yeah,
There's some really, really, we have awesome roads.
we have beautiful roads.
I mean, we're talking everything from fast sweepers.
The last section, 236, that was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, really nice paved.
Smoothly paved.
Left, right. You can link it back to back.
Low traffic.
Yeah. Oh, it
And
was empty, yeah.
Right. And then some technical bits where you're in the mountain where you have to take a crossroad where it's 5 miles through the mountain to
Yeah.
get to another great road.
Yeah.
It's highly technical.
Yeah.
You have no choice. You got to,
Yeah,
we had to
gnarly.
come down, we had to come down.
Obstacles.
We had to come down Jameson's
Logs.
Creek. What was up with that? Like a log truck must have gone through there and dropped a couple logs in the road. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, in wrap, I think it's an amazing machine. I cannot deny it. I've always been the kind of person that said don't buy a first-generation Ducati, simply because they're known for having slight quirks in those first, while they're working out the kinks.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, second-year bike or next-gen bike, everyone's going to have to step up their game.
I think so, yeah. Which
it's
is
a game
actually
changer.
overall, you make a good point. Like, it's an amazing thing for the industry because,
It pushes everybody.
pushes everybody. Exactly.
It's a great thing for the
Yeah.
industry. Yeah. But now I'm going to bring up the last thing, I think, which is the price. $31,000 out the door, 22 or
Yes.
21 out the
22.
door. 22 out the door.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in today's experience, I did not find this.
But this is 2017.
Okay, and this is 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you got it at the
That's
end
what
of
I'm
the
saying.
year?
At the end of the year, I got it like February 2018, a 2017 bike. So I had the bargain
okay.
power.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you do MSRP, there's probably like 5-6,
Yeah.
not more than 5-6K difference.
Okay, so you're saying if I was an 18 against an 18.
Yeah, 18
okay,
against
that's,
18, yeah.
that's a fair
Yeah.
point. But there is no
Yeah.
difference between the 17 and the 18. They're identical bikes. Right?
Yeah, but that's...
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I could
What
get
I'm
out. I
saying
could
is-
get into a brand new bike for 22 if I want.
That is true.
Okay, but okay,
Yeah,
let's take that
it's
away
not-
for a
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
I just wanted to point out one thing, and that is riding today on our favorite roads, going
Yes.
as fast as you dare,
Yeah.
while still being somewhat safe.
Yeah.
This is not a $10,000 better experience. I felt I had just a great
I
a time
agree.
there. However,
I agree.
all the technology that's here
Yeah.
and how advanced it is and what it does for the market in the sense of pushing it forward, there is a premium and it will be paid.
I agree. It's definitely not a 10,000, and I don't think it will be 10,000 because with the moment this becomes second gen, you would be able to probably get a discount on a 2017
Right.
or
It's a good
like.
one.
So the difference is probably like again
Smaller.
4 or 5K,
Right.
and I can see myself paying 4 or 5K.
Oh, no,
more.
for that motor?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. For like 4 or 5K,
Right.
if you already paid like 22 and this was 27,
Right.
I would pay the 27.
Right. Now, I want to make it very...
Although I want the speciale colors.
You want the
speciale.
So now you're in the 40, so
Yeah.
now go fuck yourself. However, let me say one thing.
I feel like came up with LE. They're
Oh yeah,
only
there is with the
making-
wings, right? They came out
Yes,
the wings.
and they're
It's
only
ugly.
making like 200 or 300 of those.
Yeah, but it's not any better. It's not like a better motor. I think it's just got an
No,
exhaust.
it's just the wings.
Yeah.
But it's only 1K more.
Yeah. Okay.
The price.
Yeah, but the wings are ugly. You don't need the
Yeah.
wings. I mean, for the street, they're not getting any aerodynamic.
No, I'm just saying
benefit.
like if you want a collection item.
Oh yeah.
1K more.
You can have a collector's bike.
Like 12K more, I think.
Right. Yeah. And it's a smaller displacement motor.
Well,
Now
it comes
wait.
with the exhaust.
I want to talk about one
Yeah.
other thing
Yes.
before we go,
Yes.
and that is the power delivery of the two bikes. This is this linear freight train of a motor. It goes straight up. It looks like a board.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry, like a 45-degree graph. The power delivery on
Yeah.
this thing. It is linear as can
Yeah.
be. This has got to have a step where at like 10,000 RPM, like we're talking, and it goes up.
But
you know?
it is no. I mean, it's like the Panigale graph is kind of like still smooth up to 9,000.
Yeah.
And then there's a step function change at 9,000.
It just goes. And here's the thing. I want to make sure that people who are watching this don't think that, oh, well, I need the most powerful bike. Just 201 horsepower bike.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a 220 horsepower
Yeah.
bike. In order to separate the difference between those 20 horses or
Yeah.
those 19 horses
Yeah.
on the street, nearly impossible.
Yeah, no, you would not be like.
You're
unless
not disappointed
drag
for
racing.
power.
Unless you're drag racing. That's what I'm saying.
That was the only, and that was on the Pacific Coast where
Yeah.
it was like we had a mile in front of
Yeah,
us and we could play
yeah,
around,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Other than that, you can't get at.
You
I
won't
couldn't
be
get
able
at the
to,
top.
no. That's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't necessarily even be faster on the track with this one, me personally.
Right.
Because I'm already limited by my brake, right?
Your braking zone, you mean?
My braking zone, exactly. So if I am getting to, let's say, my max speed, 140, right? Miles an hour on a straight, like before turn 1 in Thunder Hill, right? If this is taking, I don't know, like 2 seconds, this would be like 1.5 seconds. I'd be getting on that like max speed. So it's not that much difference. You don't even have, like, on most tracks, you don't even have that much straight. If you go to Sonoma, you don't even have that big of a straight.
Right.
So
either Laguna has a long straight, but it's a hill and a kink and a down.
No, like,
so you can't, you can get 120, 130 out of that thing max. I mean, at the fastest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because of that, I'm not gonna go to 170 because I cannot brake it enough, to get it safely to the turn.
Right. You're limited by your own confidence and your ability to brake late.
Yeah.
And so, but that's the point. Is like, so I want to make sure that, watchers or people who care about this kind of thing.
Which means on the street, that's even less important, that 20 horsepower.
Because it's way out here.
Yeah.
I will tell you what, though. This has got more torque. This one's got more torque.
Yeah.
It feels like this bike is a mashup between the Tuono, which is the torque monster, 1100, and the RSV4, which is the horsepower monster. And they've smashed the two together and built a cheater. And it's an awesome cheater. And cheating is fun. I got to admit, cheating is fun. You know what I'd love to try with this bike, though? Turn off the electronic suspension and see what it feels like.
You can.
Oh, you cannot?
You can.
You can?
Yeah.
So maybe we should do that next.
You can turn it off.
Turn it off and give it a shot. Just to feel like if you can get back that road feel.
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for bringing out your toys and letting us have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
You're the man. So long from Big Basin Redwood State Park. Peace.